What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time!
We are back. We are back. Welcome to another episode of Tech Q&A with yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, where, above all else, we are engineered to win. Let me make sure my sound is working. Where is it? There we go. Yep, perfect. We are good to go. If you don't know who I am your host of the show and of the channel. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where, above all else, we are engineered to win. So I will be taking your questions tonight, whatever questions you may have, and I will be answering questions for you from the chat, as well as questions that I have found for you. The call-in link is pinned to the top of the chat, as well as it should be in the description as well. But if it's not, I apologize, but it is in the chat. So feel free, if you want to call in, you do not have to be on camera. I repeat, you do not have to be on camera. But if you want to call in and have a conversation with me, Tech Coach Ralph, let's do it, right? Let's do it. You already see the shirt. No days off, right? We don't take days off. We work ferociously. We continue to win. There is no other option, all right? So we're going to get into it tonight. But first and foremost, like we always like to do, let's run through our agenda, our show schedule, so you can be informed with all the things that we have going on, and then we'll get into our questions. I am so sorry to be late. I got a call right as it was time to start the show, and it was a pretty important call, because if I didn't take it, I don't know when I was going to be able to have it. So I apologize, but we're going to get to it. I have a call at 9:30, so we are going to have a great, fast night, and we're gonna do what we do. We don't miss. I'm gonna answer your questions, all right? And we're gonna get to it, all right? So let's get to it. Let me jump into our agenda for tonight, which, first and foremost, as always, thank you to all of the newest subscribers. It's like, I see people like it's like they want to get to a particular subscriber count, whether it's 500, whether it's 1,000, but it's like the reason that they're doing it is for whatever they think comes with when you hit those milestones. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy that I reached the milestones, but it's about, like, for me, it's about the passion and the joy of talking about this tech stuff, learning new things, sharing it with you, leveraging the information that I get to use at work, and then to use it with my tech barbarians. So, but the thing is, it's like after getting to 1,000, it's like you get more faster. You know what I mean? As long as you stay consistent, all right? But thank you to all of my subscribers, the new ones, the old ones, people like Don, who has been with me since the very, very beginning. Shout out to Don. I haven't seen Don in a while, and I'm going to reach out to him because it has been too long. All right. So shout out to all of the new subscribers, the old ones, the new ones, the middle ones, all of you guys. Really, really appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you.
All right. And shout out to my tech barbarians. We just had our scrum night this past Sunday night, and we are working through our Poopy Pants app. We are working in Mongo right now. We are working in Node and Express, and they're like my QA people are doing automation and just a bunch of stuff, learning how to use GitHub and Git. And it's just a beautiful sight to see people growing, and they're figuring it out. And that is the point, because guess what? All of them, they went to a boot camp. And then when they got to me, it's like, ooh, they didn't show us this in the boot camp. They did not show us this in the boot camp. But have no fear. Tech Coach Ralph is here. And we worked through it. We worked through it. All I ask from you is to be consistent, to be dedicated. All right. So shout out to the Tech Barbarians. Shout out to the Tech Barbarians. All right. So next up, our live show schedule. What is when do we go live? When do we go live? So, all right, hope you got a pen and paper out, because it's almost every single day and we're working on something different. Who does that? Who does that? Tech stuff every single day. So let me run down the list real quick. Take notes, guys, take notes. So Sunday afternoons, software explorations, we are working our way through Terraform. This coming Sunday, we're going to be, we got our load balancer working. Yes, we did. And this coming Sunday, we're going to be working on setting up our Route 53 to set up our development environment, so that, or not even our development environment. We're going to point a subdomain to our load balancer using the Docker AWS Elastic Container Services. And maybe we'll get to setting up our Amazon certificate manager, maybe we'll do that. So that's what's going to be on Sunday through Terraform, all through Terraform. That is the key. Infrastructure as code, automate everything. All right. Tuesday nights. Tonight we have our Q&A night. We get about, 8 questions that I find, as well as any questions in the chat. And like I said, if you want to call in, let me turn on the call in link just in case, just in case somebody wants to call in. All right. So let me put that right now, because I don't want someone to call in and then it's like, you said I can call in, but I can't. It's on, right? It's on. So if you call in, I will get your call and we will have that conversation. You do not have to be on camera. That is our Tuesday nights. Thursday nights, more software explorations, but this time, we're going to be working on QA stuff. We are going through APIs this coming Thursday. We are going to be continuing working on automating APIs using Java and rest assured, right? So we started on last week. We're going to continue. We didn't get as far as I wanted to, but we're going to push through. Like, we have nothing but time on our hands. What was that from that movie? Time is on my side. What was that? The Fallen with Denzel Washington. That was an amazing movie, I must say. Right. And then we have our morning shows. Shout out to the morning shows. We have Mondays. Like yesterday, we started around 8:00 because I was hanging out with Tech Niche Tips, talking about TikTok and non-compete agreements, all that good stuff. So Mondays, I'm starting a little later now because I want to hang out with my guys. All right. So Mondays, we start around like 7:45, 8:00, and then we do our coffee and kata. We have a cup of coffee. We look at some news stories, and then we get to working on our mobile app. All right. Our time cost calculator. We do the same thing on Wednesdays, but because there is no morning show yet with Talk That Tech, we start at 7:15 and we continue. We do some news and we do some coding challenges. And then this coming Saturday, we're going back by popular demand because the one, the only, Mr. Super Mitch himself, he gave us the thumbs up. He gave us the green light to go live again this coming Saturday so that we can review the numbers for the week again. All right. So let's do it. All right. Shout out to Mitch. He'll be here shortly if he's not. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I know he'll be here shortly if he is not here yet, because Superman is always alive. All right. All right. So, and then that is our morning shows, right? That is our shows. That is our live shows for the week. Hopefully you caught all that. Hopefully you find interest in that. I look forward to seeing you there. All right. Next up, we have our pre-recorded content Mondays Candid Conversations. How about that candid conversation yesterday? We are not friends. But guess what? By us not being friends, that benefits you greatly.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
No, you did not. You don't want to be friends with me. You do not want to be friends with me because you want me to push you. You want to hate me. You can hate. How did well, maybe I shouldn't say the name, but you know the song. You can hate me now, right? You can hate me now, but trust me, you're going to love me later. You will thank me when you cross the finish line. And on Wednesdays, we have software explorations. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about API documentation and why API documentation will revolutionize your life. All right. It's so important. So one of the most important things about APIs is API documentation. So you want to tune in tomorrow talking about APIs. And then Fridays, we have the bug bite. Yes, we do. It's coming Friday. We're going to be talking about the TikTok ban and how does the TikTok ban affect Americans? Did anybody think about that? How does the TikTok ban affect Americans, or does it? All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Tune in, and we're also going to be talking about the sources report on some responses from TikTok. What do these sources say? Well, tune in and find out on Friday's episode of the Bug Bite. And then we have shorts as well as clips from our Q&A show from tonight's show. We have clips Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. You definitely want to tune in for those in case you can't sit through this whole maybe an hour and a half live stream where we answer these questions. And because I hope, if you're one of my tech barbarians, you better be studying. Okay. You better be studying. You better be leveling up. All right. But I put them in bite-sized, digestible pieces so that you can catch something in particular if you can't tune into the live show. Okay. So that is the plan for the week. That's our pre-recorded, and that is our live show schedule for the week. All right. So I titled part of the title for this live stream, right, is did it update? I thought it updated. Let me see if it updated. Yeah, chasing that feeling, right? Why did I actually let me go to the chat. Let me go to the chat because I just scrolled over and I saw somebody in the chat. Let's do this. Let's do this right. All right. So where my chat? Where is my chat? So many softwares. All right. So we got I'm technically Tim in the building, one of the channel members. What's up? I'm technically Tim. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. I'm technically Tim says, how's it going, coach? I am doing absolutely phenomenal tonight. Thank you for asking. How about you? How are you doing? How are you? How are those finals coming along? How's the studying coming along? You should be almost done, right? You should be almost done. But I'm technically Tim. He came back and said, he said, dang, coach, we're not friends. My fifis are hurt now. Well, we might not be friends, but I may be indirectly your bestest friend in the whole entire world. You know? It just depends on how you define friendship. Because by me not being your friend, that might make me your bestest friend, your bestie forever, forever and ever and ever and ever. All right. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. Let's continue along with the show. We got, let me see. All right. So chasing that feeling. What do I mean by chasing that feeling? So it's a little bit depressing every now and then when I'm scrolling through the mean streets of what do you call it, of like LinkedIn and stuff like that, because I'll see, I get connection requests, or I used to go out there and send connection requests, and what I would start to see is like people would be, wanting to, change careers. And they take, what Mitch's favorite thing, Mitch is like the boot camp king, right? If there's a boot camp that exists, Mitch has taken it, all right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a bad joke. That is a bad joke. I don't even have the soundboard for it, but it's a bad joke. I take it back. I take it back. Mitch is not the boot camp king. He's more like the boot camp prince, all right? I kid, all right? Give me a break, all right? Give me a break. But what I'm saying is that, they'll go to these camps and then they get a for lack of better words, a crappy resume and stuff like that. But they're very hopeful that maybe they'll be delivered with a position. Like someone's going to take a chance on them and things like that. And and then like I shouldn't go here, but they'll pray and they'll believe that a higher power will deliver them and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I know that salvation was promised and stuff like that, but was a job promised? I don't know. But I digress. What I'm saying is, we chase that feeling of being approved, of being accepted, because they'll offer us all these things that go and take this certification, or take this boot camp, or take this and that, and you get accepted here and there and there. And at the end of the day, there's still no job, there's still no position. And I'm like, why do we get so distracted by chasing that feeling and not going after the success? The only feeling that I want is victory. It's not going down this path and that path and that path. Oh, I felt good doing this. Oh, I felt good connecting with this person. Oh, I felt good meeting this person who's been doing this for a long time. And, I got to, I hope to be like them one day. I honestly don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about like unpopular thing. I don't care about networking events. I don't care about speaking at places. I don't care about sitting in crowds. I care about working. I care about developing my skills. I don't. If I had to choose between meeting 100 people, which might help me, it might help me. Maybe it could possibly, or working and figuring things out, coming up with ideas, meeting with people who have ideas that we can implement and we can build together. Give me that 100 times out of 100 times. What percentage is that? What is my shooting percentage, Mitch? 100 times out of 100. Is that 100% field goal percentage? Maybe. All right. From 35 feet, from 35 feet. All right. So I don't know. I really don't care about my feelings like that. I don't depend on my feelings. I don't depend on my work when I say I don't depend on my work, I don't depend on like, other people to make me feel good. I make myself feel good by being proud of the work that I do, whether it's at work on the clock, or whether it's streaming, or whether it's developing, whether it's doing the mobile app, whatever it is, coaching, whatever it is. I don't chase the feeling of what people say should make me feel good. I chase the feeling of victory. And I define victory early and often. All right. So that's my take. You guys have to be careful about the feelings that you chase. Make sure those feelings that you're chasing align with your goals. All right. Make sure those feelings align with your goals.
Message.
All right. Okay. Let's get into it. Time is running. Time is money. Let's get to the chat. We have the one, the only, which I can't wait to get to that comment. All right. So Mitch pulled up on us. He pulled up. He says, "This is me every day. No days off. Ferris Bueller. Loosen up the tie. Loosen up the tie. What? Loosen up the tie. Superman is alive like a glitch in an Apple computer." Oh, that's a low blow. That's a low blow, Mitch. Low blow. You know, and apparently, if Apple doesn't want to be broken up by the federal government, allegedly, they're going to have to give the blue dot to Android as well. So we'll be part of the cool kids club. All right. All right. And then we have, I'm technically Tim, says, "Finals went well. Now I'm studying for CompTIA Network Plus and Security." So, like I said, we're going to celebrate Tim. Keep on working. Keep on grinding, Tim. You got this. You got this as always. All right. So, and Tim says, "To the besties, that's facts though. Your last candid conversation was on point." Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys go check out the candid conversation where we have real talk and I help you level up your thinking. See, not only your technical skills, but also your mindset, your thinking, so that you can go out there and get that dub while other people are complaining. While they're complaining, we are out here winning. And it says, "Did you see the new thing? Someone making 200K after 3 months of a boot camp? Senior level?" Did you say senior level? I did not see that, but I will be looking for it. You know, I could be petty and I could go and respond to them. I mean, we can go review them and stuff like that, but I'd rather do the work. I'd rather do the work. We're not going to stoop to that pettiness, you know, but I would hope people are smart enough to see through the nonsense. All right. And Mitch says 35 feet. That's what I did the other day. You know, like you remember the Jim Jones song, Ballin'. And I'm technically Tim says, "No blue bubbles for Android." Why you gotta hate on us Android people? Why you gotta hate on us Android people? You know, like, why can't we get the blue dot? And that's why. The who is it? Whoever it is that's in charge of breaking up companies and making our lives miserable as businesses and stuff like that. That's why they're gonna break up Apple, and that's why Apple products are gonna suck, because they're gonna break it up. You know, and now you're gonna have like brown dots. All right, brown dots. Yep, that's what they're gonna give you. Because you wouldn't let us into the cool kids club, giving us the blue dots. You said you guys have to have green dots. Everyone has green dots except for us. Now you guys are gonna have brown dots, and every time you go to use your phone and you see the brown dot, it's gonna remind you of how you guys were not being inclusive. You were not being inclusive, and now it's gonna remind you of crap every time you see the brown dots, while we still have our green dots. All right. What happens? That's what happens. And Mitch says, "No, don't review it. Just look for it." I won't waste my time reviewing it. I'll look for it. But like, I'll tell you this, right? I tried to watch one like this morning or something like that, and I got like 30 seconds into it. I'm like, "Man, I don't have time for this nonsense. This is stupid. Like, this is stupid. This is stupid." All right. Like, I'm like, I can't waste my time with this. Like, I can't do it. And lastly, I'm technically Tim says, "DEI bubbles. Hey, everybody is included. All right, even the blue dots, green dots, all the dots. We all get included." And Mitch says, Funny part is they found out the guy already had experience. Right. And he's probably getting like a kickback from getting people to sign up for the boot camps. And like I say, I don't mind the boot camp. The problem that I have is the lies. What? The lies that they tell to get people in. But people get scammed every day, right? People get scammed every day because I think most people who get scammed, it's probably because like, I want to say they want to, but they want to believe the lie because if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true, right? Anyways, let's get to work tonight. All right, let's get to work. So, I think my lighting is good for tonight. All right, because my video editor made a comment to me the other day. They said that, you know what? It's so much easier to cut the videos when you have the questions on the screen. I was like, oh my God, you're going to make me work. But ask and you shall receive. All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to be getting to our first question of the night, and then we'll go back to the chat. If you haven't done so already, do me a big favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you are in need of one-on-one technical coaching with me, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can get access to exclusive content as well as sign up for a coaching plan with me. Spots are very limited. All right. Spots are limited because, and like Mitch always tells you at the end, the price of the brick will go up because my time is getting more valuable by the minute. All right. And that's what I want for you too. I want your time to get more valuable by the minute as well, because when there's no days off, time is money. We out here winning. All right. We are out here winning. Okay. Oh, and Darcel is in the building. You know, before we even start, let's say what's up to Darcel. Darcel, how is it going? Happy to have you here as always. All right, let's get to our first question of the night. Have some new setups here. Hopefully they work well, but bear with me. We are out here winning. Okay, so let's give it a try.
Another one.
Oh, you see that? Did you see that? Did y'all just see that happen? That was pretty cool, I must say. So the first question of the night. Next steps after setting up regression tests, right? So it says, I am currently working in a startup for the last 5 months as a QA engineer. It's just me and my lead there. It's my first job. Meanwhile, so we are doing manual testing until now. And now our top management has given us the go ahead to implement automation testing. So our current stack is as below. So this is a stack. This is a tech stack they're using. They have front end. We have 3 websites or components primarily. We're using Angular mainly for our website, Vue.js for a separate component, React for part of the website. The backend, we're currently using Go mostly, although one of the components still use Java, and our database mostly runs on SurielDB, whereas one part still uses MS SQL database. All right. Also, we use Benthos to do data streaming and upload data. Are you familiar with Benthos by any chance, Mitch? I never heard of Benthos. And Keycloak for authorization and authentication, and Redis DB as well for token clear cache. Sounds like a pretty legit startup right there. Azure Cloud is our server, by the way. So here we have actually created 7 to 8 test cases, which can be termed as regression tests and integrated into the Azure CI/CD pipeline so that it runs a job on 8 p.m. every day. We are actually confused on what to do next. What? You're confused on what to do next? Well, have no fear because as Mitch said, Superman is here. Well, along with Superman, Tech Coach Ralph is here as well. All right. So my lead chose robot framework actually with Python as it's simpler to write and mostly uses keywords. Any advice on what to do next? You can ignore if this is totally irrelevant. Well, my friend, your questions are never, ever irrelevant. All right, so let's start the clock. Boom, look at that. We have the clock up and I'm getting there. I am going to master this software, okay? So to answer your question, what do you do next after you have created your regression test? Well, I'm pretty sure that you are going to continue develop features and components and stuff to the application. And you're going to continue adding more and more tests as you do that. And not to mention, you're also going to be, what would I say, writing more test cases, trying to add more coverage. See, a lot of times we think that we have these regression tests and then that's it, but it's never it. We have to optimize our tests. We need to write cleaner code. We need to implement new features because guess what? Guess what happens? You can become stale in your tests. And then when new development is added and you run your regression test, but what about when the new development does not touch? When the new development does not touch your new features, right? Like it doesn't touch the new development doesn't touch your existing regression tests. So that means that you have to keep up with the development process. So as developers are building new features, you need to add automation. And keep in mind, you shouldn't only have regression tests. The regression tests are the things that are going to be running on a regular basis, but you need to have tests that are going to be available to run. Like let's say you have a full regression, like where it tests everything on the website, which it doesn't have to run all the time, but it needs to run at some type of consistent basis. Because if you I got this from Robert T. Martin, Uncle Bob. He says, if you don't want to know if your site works, or the tests to run are the ones that you want to know works on the site. So if you have like 100 different scenarios, but you only run like 7 of them, then you can only be sure of 7% of the site working. Well, maybe a little bit more depending on the pathways that it touches, right? But you need to build out your test. You need to have, like, for example, does your application have APIs? Are you building out API regression tests? So along with your UI test, what about your API test? Because I'll tell you this, you know, we're talking about APIs the past few weeks. You should have way more API tests, business logic tests, than you have front-end tests, because the front end is always going to be flaky. And there is nothing worse than a flaky test. Well, maybe there are some things that are worse, but you know what I mean. Flaky tests annoy the hell out of us, and we want to ban flaky tests. So there's always something to work on in QA. You're going to be working on the new development. You're going to be building out. What does your infrastructure? So you said it runs on the CI/CD, right? But if you're using, I mean, I guess, is it using in AWS they would call it an EC2 instance, but whatever is the equivalent to Azure for an EC2 instance, is it running on that? Is it using it sounds like it's using a browser. If you have a Angular front end, can you look into possibly, well, like you said, you're on Azure, but I was going to say, instead of running it on an actual machine, look into Device Cloud. You have to research. You have to always be expanding. What about how does your reporting look? How does reporting look? Right? Those are the things that I'm thinking about. Those are the things that I'm looking into, like new scenarios. As you're building, you want to automate in parallel. And just because you're automating in parallel, it doesn't mean that everything has to go into regression. But being able to run a suite like once a week, where it's going to be catching stuff in case things change, being able to target test. So one of the ways that we automate at my company is we use Behave, which you can use whatever you want, but Behave is the Python equivalent to Cucumber in Java. We're using BDD and stuff like that, where we use Behave and we are able to say, all right, I want to target these tags to run these particular tests and exclude these tests, or run these tests and things like that. Looking for innovation. You have to be innovative. Well, shout out to you. can't even see who it was, but I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel. You are absolutely amazing. All right, but like I was saying, you need to be innovative. Like a lot of times, it's a thing with QA, right? They have this mindset that we're just gonna sit around and wait. And I say no, you never sit around and wait. You stand up. You stand up and you go out there and do. You go out there and do, and you go out there and win, and you go out there and impress. You go out there and impress, all right? So that's what I would say to you. QA and automation is so much more than regression tests. It's about verifying on a regular basis that the application is performing as it should, all right? So that being said, hopefully that answers your question. You reached out to me on Discord, so if you need a follow-up, let me know, and I promise you I will get back to you, all right? So with that being said, that is that question. All right, so let's check the chat real quick. Let's check the chat really quick. Let's see what we got. So Mitch said, it's like you saying you got a QA job in 2 months making 300K, but you've been in it for years. They probably meant like, they quit that job and then they went and got another job. And I don't know. I really don't know, Mitch. I don't know. And what do you get from lying about it? Like, why? Does it get you? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. If were they promoting some type of program or something? I don't know. Like, and that's why like, I don't trust these people, man. I do not trust these people. Anyways, what else we got? We got Darcel in the building, and they say they call you. Oh, they're talking to Darcel. Yeah, did they call you yet, Darcel? Did they call you yet, Darcel? And we got Mentos. Yeah, that's the tool. No, Bentos with a B. Bentos. Not Mentos, but Bentos. All right. And oh my god, we got Mr. I don't do jujitsu in the morning anymore. We got Tony in the building. And he says true equals true. Test pass looks good to me. And that's why I keep Tony far away from my automation test. All right. What's up, Tony? Where you been, Tony? Like, you too good for us in the morning anymore? Are you too good for us in the mornings anymore, Tony? What's going on? All right. Let's get to our next question of the night. Oh, shots fired. Oh my goodness. All right. You know what? We need, I don't even know. I'm so shocked by this one. I don't even know what to say. You know what, Tony? You know what? You get one of these. You get one of these.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
All right, Tony. That's what you get. That's what you get. All right. That's what you get. Okay. The nerve of some people. I tell you, they're too good for us. Too good for us. All right. And Mitch asked, Bentos. That's like I guess so. They said that's what they use for. They use that to do data streaming and upload. I'll look it up after the show. I will look it up after the show. But yeah, I was just wondering if you ever heard of it. I never heard of it. But we shall see. We shall see. All right. Let's get to our next question of the night. Okay. Okie dokie. So
Another one.
is it possible to moonlight as a QA engineer? Moonlighting is an old word. It's an old word for freelancing, right? So the question pretty much said, I got too much stuff on the screen. All right. It said, I am a QA working a 9-to-5 job. I am looking for a side hustle as a QA as a part-time freelancer. Can you guys help me point to platforms to start from? So here's the thing. I'm going to start the clock. All right. Clock is started. So I'm going to tell you this. To do freelance QA is extremely, extremely hard to come by. Why is that? Well, you see all the questions that we read on a regular basis where people are saying, I don't feel valued as a QA person, right? I don't feel valued as a QA engineer. I don't feel valued as a QA tester. Oh, no one loves me. Woe is me, blah, 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 right? All these people. But at the same time, people are making $300,000 a year working 2 QA jobs, right? Yeah. But so on one hand, people are making $300,000 to $400,000 a year within 6 months, whatever the case may be. And on the other hand, people who work in QA say they feel absolutely devalued. No one loves them. Everyone hates me. They're and they're like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
very sad, right? Very sad. But so freelancing in QA, it's extremely hard to come by because a lot of companies, a lot of startups, they just want to, like, they don't see the need for QA until their product is an absolute disaster. Until it's a disaster, that's when they want to do QA, and then now they have to pay QA more to get them out of the mess that they're in. And then after they're out of the mess, we don't need QA anymore. So the logic doesn't make sense. But it is hard to get freelance QA work. I've looked on sites like Upwork for QA work, and I think a lot of the stuff that they show on there are scams and trash. But when I was working with a former tech barbarian, we were able to find an actual QA role, which was part-time freelance, where they actually were doing automation in Cypress and stuff like that. So is it possible? Of course it's possible. Is it easy to find? Not really. You can definitely check places like Upwork, maybe Fiverr, I don't know. But what I would see more though is, I would say try to find startups who might not have any QA, but startups are like, so there's 2 types of startups. Right? I made a video about this. There's like startups who are like legit companies, LLCs, where they have buildings and stuff like that. They have funding and things like that. And there's startups where it's like me and Mitch started a building an app in my my garage, or they took the Bill Gates approach, maybe, I don't know. And then we don't have a developer who says, hey, we need a developer, but we can't pay you. And because it's just a cool idea. And then when we're working on the stuff, like, we're trying to do everything for free, and it's kind of messy. It is kind of messy. So that's the intricacies that come with it. Sometimes you can find these QA roles, but it's more likely that you're going to get freelancing as a web developer, as a backend engineer, maybe someone to set up infrastructure. QA, possible, but like if you go look on Upwork, right, and you search for a QA freelancing position, it's gonna be hard to come by. I'm sorry, but I have to be honest with you. I am not going to tell you that you're going to be making $300,000 a year as a QA engineer. Like, it's possible if you get, like, on Friday when we talk about the TikTok ban. We're going to be reviewing some TikTok positions, that, like, some open TikTok positions listed on LinkedIn in the United States, and their pay range is pretty high. It's pretty high.
Money.
But freelancing, like, you can maybe get a contractor position for like an actual company that's going to place you somewhere. But then even with those are more kind of like full-time. They expect you to be on like 9 to 5-ish. But finding a place to like freelance QA, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right. And Tony has a little bit of contribution to this, right? So Tony says, wait, let me hide this out of the way. So I worked at a large place that hired contractors to bump test coverage over 80% and hook up the test harness. Startups, not so much unless they absolutely need someone. I agree. And Tony says, continued on the startup topic, you won't just be doing QA either. At most startups, you'll be wearing many hats. That is also a fact. That is a fact. All right. And I work at a pretty large company and I still wear many hats, mostly by choice because I like dipping and diving into all those little things, you know? But especially like if you are fairly new, maybe, I don't know. I would say here's what I would say. I would say don't really focus much on doing freelance QA. I would say learn how to do other stuff so that you can have more like different freelance skills, like maybe web development. Because guess what? You'd be great if you learn how to do those things because you will know like how to test them properly, right? And then learn how to write like proper unit tests, automation tests, all of that good stuff. And you know, I don't know. Like the gig economy is not what it used to be. Freelancing is not what it used to be. All right. So, you know, that's how I see it. All right. That is how I see it. So hopefully that helps. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this question up. All right, so let's get rid of that. All right, let's go to the chat really quick. And Mitch adds to this. It says, Tony, true. This startup I was considering wanted me or the role doing 5 different jobs at once. At least they were honest and upfront. You know, hey, how was the pay though? How was the pay for that? How was the pay for that role? Just curious. Like, were they paying you like at least for 2.5 jobs, or was it like we're gonna pay you for half of one job, but we expect you to do 5 things? You know, just curious. And Mitch says, "You big time now. These ads are going while you are talking." What? I can't see them, but that is good to know. That you know what? Two things. This one,
Money.
and
Thank you for your patronage.
you know, we got to get paid, right? We got like Mitch, you know, right? You know how it goes, right? You know. Just,
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
the price of the brick is going up as always. All right. So let's see. Tony says it's always fun being the software engineer, software site reliability engineer, the software development engineer and test, and the project manager or product manager at the same time. Hey. And let's see. We got it was good, but I would have been stressed doing it. Yep, that's fair. But I mean your other position is pretty good too. And you get to focus on data, you know. And by the way, Mitch, what were like the different roles that they were gonna have you do over there? What are the different roles that they're gonna have you do? All right, next up. Yannick in the chat. What up, Yannick? I don't think we've ever spoken before. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. What is your opinion on the tech is the new black channel? Well, I don't watch that channel. I've seen like little things here and there. You know, I might have watched like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Not really my forte. For me, black is always going to be black, and tech is always going to be tech. That's that's how I see it. I mean, I don't really get involved in that type of stuff. But I say you to keep winning and keep leveling up. Whatever you do, like all I care about is winning. I care about the individual success of people who come and hang out with me. I want to see you win. I want to see you do great. I don't focus on all of that other stuff. You know, so that's how I see it, right? That is how I see it. All right. And we go to see Mitch be trying to get me in trouble, right? You know, Mitch, I'm gonna put you on a pip, Mitch. I know you signed the the non-compete, right? But I'm gonna have to also put you on a performance improvement plan, Mitch, because you be trying to get me in trouble, all right? You be trying to get me in trouble. And Yannick says, Anton keeps shout out to Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com. I mean, hey, I just try to add value however I can. So I appreciate you being here. I really, really appreciate it. All right. So let's see. And the last, we got sales engineer, account manager, customer success, solutions architect, and well, you know what I say, Mitch. Don't threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time. And all right, let's get to the next question because I can be here talking to you guys all night, and I'll circle back. All right, I will circle back. Let's get to our next question of the night. All right, let's do it.
Another one.
So we're going to be talking about what careers provide good work-life balance. You know how I feel about work-life balance. But the question goes, what are some careers where work stays at work? All right. For example, I don't have to do anything work-related after hours. So I currently work as a teacher making about $68,500 a year. What? $68,000 as a teacher? You must live in California or something. Or New York. I don't know. $68,000 as a teacher. That's definitely okay. Anyways, I digress. I'm beginning to see what else I may want to do, but a big thing for me is that there is nowhere near enough time in the workday to do all the things we're meant to do, and therefore a lot of things like prep work, grading, etc. have to be done after hours. While I do have defined contract hours, if we take work hours to mean hours spent doing work-related activities, then there really is no telling how long my work hours may be, right? Therefore, ergo, right? I learned that in, when did I learn that word? I think that was in like 6th grade, maybe. Ergo also means therefore. While seeking a new career, one of my main points of interest is to find a career that requires only requires work to be done during stated contract hours, or perhaps even make it possible to work outside of contract hours. I'd also like to make about the same money or better, though I'm more flexible at that point. I've only had one career, so I'm not very knowledgeable about the state of other careers outside of teaching. All I know is I need to leave the classroom sometime within the next few years, as I can't take the constant stress and exhaustion of these pesky little kids. I added the pesky little kids part, but that's what they're really trying to say. We all know that. Oh, and if the career is away from children and childcare, that would be fantastic. Trust me, I stay away from these kids. All right, I stay away from these kids. All right. I consider myself a caring person. Really? I couldn't tell about this question, but it can take behavior BS, but I can't take behavior BS, drama, etc. anymore. However, if that's all that would be available to me, then I'll still consider it. Needing to get paid beats out my desire not to work with kids anymore after all. Well, the desire to get paid is always good, right? I champion the desire to get paid. But the question, what careers provide good work-life balance? That's what we're going to answer. So we're going to just get right to it. Any career that you clock in and clock out, and you have to be there to do it. Like, you absolutely have to be there to do it. So let's run it down. I would say the first type of career that you have, good work-life balance would be maybe nursing, right? We'll start off with like one of the highest paying ones, right? Nursing, I would say, has good work-life balance because you can, like, for the most part, from what I know from nurses, right? They will work, like, they're contracted to work 3 days, 12-hour shifts. Like, some of them work 5 days, 8-hour shifts, but a lot of them work in a hospital, like, especially if it's a nurse in the hospital. Like, if it's in a clinic, it's going to be like, 5 days, 8 hours per day. But the hospital ones, it's normally 3 days, 12-hour shifts. And now, if they want to pick up more shifts, that's on them. Sometimes they might be asked to if there's like a shortage, but they get paid overtime for it, you know? And from what I've seen, a lot of times they work every other weekend as well. And they get paid, they get compensated for that as well, you know? But that's nursing. You have to deal with, like, you don't have to deal with kids and children and childcare as a nurse. You have to deal with adults and adult care. So those little bad attitudes, now you have to deal with big bad attitudes, right? So that's, you know, if you want to deal with that, nursing is an option, right? Next up, I would say what other career that and if you are in management in nursing, because one of my close friends, his wife is a nurse, but she's like the director of nurses and stuff like that of like for the region, and she works 24/7. I'll go to their house, and on Sundays she's working. She's talking to people from other uppers and stuff like that, and you know it's a constant thing. So if you're going to be just a nurse, like just a RN, where you go in, you take care of the grown adults or the kids or the elderly or crazy people or whatever, right? Then that's an option. And that probably has good work-life balance, because after you're done, you can go and travel and do whatever you have on your days off, whatever the case may be, right? So that's an option. The other option, right, where you might have good work-life balance is, you know, working in like one of these stores, like a convenience store or something like that, where, you know, a Walmart, a Target, where you clock in and, you know, you do whatever, whether you're doing a cashier, you know, unloading the trucks, stocking the shelves, things like that. And once you're done with the day, then you're done and you go live your best life. That's another option, you know, working Walmart, Target, down here, Publix, with the subs that, you know, people love those subs from Publix. Side note, Tony, people love these subs from Publix, but the bread, to me, the bread is super hard, and it's like it'll cut your lips, or your lips too, but your tongue, right? But that's a side note, right? It was a conversation we were having the other day. Anyways, but yeah, there's those type of jobs. I would say another job where there's like good work-life balance is like maybe if you are working, you know, warehouse or delivery driver, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you need to be present and active to do it. And then once you're out, then you're out. But I'll tell you this, just now, like before, one of the reasons that I was late, right? Well, maybe not the reason I was late, because I was setting up these amazing graphics with the questions on it. That's why I was really late. But we ended up having an incident at work in the afternoon, and then we all stayed on later to try to figure out how to move forward our plans for tomorrow. And you know, it's just so STEM and IT, doctors, stuff like that, that is not going to work for you, because there is some degree of work-life balance, but when duty calls, right, then duty calls, and you got to do what you have to do. So it's not like Mitch and his 5 different jobs that they were offering him, but I'm sure there are times that Mitch has to stay later. And imagine if you're like doing cybersecurity and stuff like that. There's not going to be any like there's no work-life balance in those things, because you have to protect the company. You have to protect, you have to protect your customers, your company, and stuff like that. But roles where you can just be there, be present, and let's put it like this: any role where people don't depend on you for like, where they can just take you out and put someone else in, or they can take you out and put one of the Tesla humanoid Optimus Gen 2 robots in to do your job, then that's going to have the work-life balance that you're looking for. But be careful, because then you might just have life balance at the end, because if they can just put a Tesla robot to do your job, or they can put a self-checkout lane. Please, Walmart, don't take those away. Please, Walmart, don't take those away. Please, Walmart, don't take those away. Then you might be in a little bit of a pickle, all right? So that is my thought on the careers, the jobs that offer good work-life balance, all right? So all right. So let's see. Let's get this off the screen and let's get this off the screen. Those question. Man, we're going slow tonight. All right. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to. All right. So let's go to the chat. And I'm Technically Sim said that is a dope channel too. Yes, that is like there's so many I can't even list them all. But the Millionaire Morning Show, that one is absolutely amazing. The Anton Daniels channel, the After Hours, and coming soon, Room 9, right? Coming soon, Room 9. So totally agree. And Yannick is laughing. Hey man, they try to get me in trouble out here. You guys are trying to get me in trouble out here. I'm just a peaceful guy who just writes code all day long. All right, I just write code all day long. And Pip is crazy. After I heard AD say I was crying. Yeah, man, that was a funny day. But yeah, Pips are needed sometimes, right? Pip, like, so one of my coaching people, I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to put you on a Pip because you should be further along. You should be doing better. I will be quick to put somebody on a Pip if I have to. But when I put them on a Pip, it's not to let them go. It's for them to actually make a plan to get better, right? So a lot of times when people get put on a Pip in the real world, when you get put on a Pip, it pretty much means you have 30 to 90 days before you're out. I put people on a Pip so they can improve, all right? So Mitch is not going anywhere because Mitch has a non-compete, so he can't go anywhere, right? He's here. Non-competes, NDAs, all those good stuff. And trust me, because Mitch is the VP of data, he can't waive that non-compete, right? So I just made sure I gave him the right position. So now everyone is going to become VPs and directors and stuff like that. So the non-competes can be enforceable. See, I figured it out, right? If you need a solution, I'm right here, right? I figured out the non-compete. Gotta tell Joseph that on Monday. I figured out the non-compete, the loophole for the non-compete. And Tony says a good work-life balance is a full-time fisherman. All right. Tony, which kind of fisherman are you talking about? Is it like the fisherman in the perfect storm, or the fishermen where they just like sit by the canal all day and they're drinking a beer and stuff like that, right? Which fisherman are you talking about, Tony? And Mitch says, I honestly could be wrong if there is good work-life balance. And not nursing. Most nurses be stressed out. Okay, but the reason they're stressed out is because they are working like 3 different jobs. They'll do overtime at their first job, and then they'll work another full-time job at another hospital, and then they'll also have their LLC where they're doing like home health aid and stuff like that, and like they're working all the time. That is their own fault because right, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna tell you why, but you know why. But that is their own fault, right? They are stressed because of their own doing. That is not because of the role. It's because of what they of the way that they choose to get to the bag. All right, so we're here, Mitch. We're here, right? And that part is true. 12-hour shift, and Yannick says work-life balance is a myth. Hey, a lot of people believe in myths, so a lot of people live in myths, and I am the myth breaker. And after Tony, we're going to get back to our next question because I'm moving too slow tonight, right? And Mitch says, never mind, we are on the same page. We are always on the same page. Always on the same page. And Pluto in the build. Shout out to Pluto, my guy Pluto. May 1st. Did you say May 1st, Pluto? Just confirm, because May 1st is tomorrow. Is May 1st happening or not? Pluto, we have to know. Are we doing May 1st or not? Our eyes are watching. We're all watching, all right? And we're going to stop with Tony. And Tony says, there are a lot of jobs in software that have great work-life balance, but it's a hit or miss based on the role and the company. I know software engineers that work 30 hours a week and some that work 60. Yep. But the thing is with the software thing, depending on the type of software, you kind of you have to you might have that 30, but you have to be available too in case something goes wrong or however they work it out. But you can have great work-life balance. Some people are overachievers, me, but and we just like to figure things out. But Tony's right. It can, but like I said, it's hit or miss. And I would say it's probably more on the side that people work like 40. I mean, not that they do, but they're contracted to work that. And sometimes they might work later, sometimes they work earlier. Like you figure it out, right? You figure it out. And Tony says, and then we're gonna stop at this one. He is eating a Publix sub right now. Wow. Make sure you have your Band-Aids ready, because you might hurt yourself, right? But I love Publix. Tony, that Publix right around the street from our house, it breaks my heart that they are closed right now for rebuilding it, because I could get there and I can make a full round trip in like 10 minutes and get exactly what I need. Not energy drinks, because I do not drink energy drinks anymore, Mitch, right? But I can get whatever I need in like 5 minutes, and now I have to go to another one, and I'm so disappointed. All right, let's get to the next question, because I am moving slow, and I said I'm having so much fun. I have a call at 9:30. All right, let's get to our next question.
Another one.
Feeling lack of self-worth in QA. Well, you know how we started off this one. That is so unfortunate, but maybe I can help you out, right? I am a fresher from India, and in India they use the term fresher to mean like they're new, they're like entry level, new to QAs or whatever position they're doing. I'm a fresher from India that just joined a product-based company as a quality assurance engineer. Shout out to you. I would be working with Playwright. I'm feeling a lot of complex emotions right now and was wondering if anyone with experience in the field can help me out. The placements in my college were very limited, and this was compounded by the fact that I had an active backlog, because of which I was unable to sit in 80% of the placement drives. Finally, by the stroke of luck, I got selected for a QA automation role 1 week ago. Before finding a job, I was thinking, God, please give me anything. After getting this job, I'm feeling a development role would have been nicer. Oh my! You see, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. You were begging God for anything, and God said, "Okay, here's this QA role," and you're like, "Well, God, I know I said anything, but a development role would have been a little bit better. Would have been a little like you son." Aww. You know what? You get one of these.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Right? I got into QA automation because of lack of choice. You could have not accepted it. And I don't think it's anyone's first choice either, at least in my limited experience. So I am feeling a lack of self-worth and self-importance for this role. There is no specific question. I just wanted to help to get over this mental block that quality assurance is for losers, and development is the real deal. Well, and they came back and says, I understand why some people found this post offensive, but I wanted to describe my thought process in as much detail as possible so people with more experience can help me. Thank you for all your feedback. Well, let's get it on, right? So, Mr. Fresher, who is just out of college, who is so unappreciative of the position that potentially and allegedly God gave you, which you are totally ungrateful for. Well, my friend, maybe God is testing you. Or maybe you got lucky and you got a job. Who knows? But is QA for losers? No, QA is not for losers, because in QA, we are the last line of defense. And sometimes goals are scored on us. Sometimes we're dunked on. Sometimes we get bombed. You know, we get a Randy Moss bug that gets past us. You know, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we are part of the team. We're part of the team. Like, and I think the reason here's the biggest thing with like this is why QA gets such a bad rap because so many people in QA, right? Not anybody that I work with because I make sure that they don't have this mindset, but they just sit around and wait. They're waiting for the developer to tell them what to do. They put themselves in the positions of being second class citizens instead of joining the conversation, contributing, understanding the story, researching, taking on tasks so that they can add value to the team. So it gives them a negative connotation because people like they end up looking like, oh, they're just gonna sit around and wait and twiddle their thumbs and then once instead of because there's another common complaint in QA where we don't have enough time to test because the developers get the work done by this time and then we have like 3 to 4 days to test everything and whatever, right? And it might be multiple stories. Where I say is if you're doing agile and you're in a sprint, what are you doing while the developers are actually doing the implementation? Are you sitting around and waiting? Or are you actually figuring out what you're going to be testing? Are you writing out your test scenarios? Are you preparing automation? Are you able to do pretty much all the automation and just plugging data here and there so that once the development is done, you can run your automated test and it gets you like 75% of the way and then you can just start looking at information? Are you contributing to the infrastructure that your QA tests are going to be running on? Or do you outsource that to everyone? See, so those are the things that I'm thinking about as a QA engineer. I'm always looking to see, okay, how can I make my life easier? Number one, how can I make my life easier? Which, if I can make my life easier as a QA engineer, then it should be able to translate to my developers' lives easier. And then it should be able to translate to my team's life easier. And then to my manager, to the company as a whole, to the customers. You know, looking for strategies. So why, all right. And here's the thing, right? As QA, you should be, maybe you're not going to be as knowledgeable as developers in the code and stuff like that, but you should be looking at it, right? Look at the pull requests that are being open. Do you know what a pull request is, right? Look at those. Be part of the team. Ask questions about the risk, like identify a risk. Ask questions about, okay, how is this supposed to work? How would you see us testing it? Are you meeting with the developers? Those are the things that I look to do to add value. Like at work, I'll jump into Terraform to create some infrastructure or create some users and stuff like that for automation to work properly. I've used Terraform to create the Elastic Container Registry to store our Docker image. All those things are being done. So when people say like, oh, you know, lack of value, all this type of stuff, no self-worth, look, there is only one person who can, should, and will define your self-worth. It's not a developer. It's not a position or a title or a manager or a company or whatever, right? It's the person in the mirror. You define your self-worth and you go out there and you do a great job at whatever it is you're doing. If you are being a full-time fisherman drinking a can of beer, like by the canal by our house with Tony, be the best fisherman that there is. If you're in data, the work that you do, you have to be proud of yourself for the work that you do. And then that's going to translate over. But feeling a lack of self-worth, no, it's on you because you don't put in the effort that you should put. You don't make yourself proud of the work that you're doing. And that's totally on you. I feel absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. You are ungrateful. and we're gonna wrap it up with this. We're going to remind you that you asked God for anything, and He gave you a role as a QA engineer. What so many people would kill to be in your role, literally, like they would, right? And you are ungrateful. A development role would have been better. Well, all right. So let's get back to the chat. That was a good one. You know, I like that one. All right. Let's get back to the chat. And Pluto says, if it pays a lot, there ain't no work-life balance. You know, for the most part, you're right. Like sometimes there's like some, you know, it depends. But you're pretty much right, right? You're pretty much right. And Pluto says nuclear plants do not have work-life. That's a fact. That's a fact. And Yannick says, I think your role needs to be higher in ranks to get balance, but balance is a perspective, could mean different things for different people. That is true. And with that, here's the thing. When you are higher in ranks, like you can delegate more, but if there's a fire, like you're gonna like you can delegate more, but you'll be contacted at any time. Like there was this one time, right? You know what? I'm gonna play this just for Tim, right? I'm gonna play this just for Tim. Where is it? Where is it? So I need some water actually. So I was working for a company, right, that was going through a major lawsuit. Told this story before. And we had to do like a bunch of work, a bunch of testing. I wrote a bunch of automated tests. And the CTO, like he was like at the office all the time dealing with the lawsuit. And one night, like right in the brink of this, right, he calls me at 2 a.m. in the morning with his lawyer, asking some questions about this and that and reports and stuff like that. And I mean, like, and just that weekend, I had spent like 24 hours in the office, right? So like, it's about like it depends, right? And there are times like you might have like a good portion of work-life balance, but there's some times that are critical that they're going to need you, and that you're going to have to put that to the side. You might have to like cancel some plans because if they really need you, are you going to be a team player, or like, oh, I got stuff to do, can't do it, you know? So that's my thoughts about it. Right? But you're right. You're right. For the most part, you're right. And Mitch says, if they come after you, I'm on your side, homie. I got them Tyson hands. Like, you see, we got them Tyson's hands, and I do jujitsu. Although my knee is hurt right now, but I do jujitsu. And Mitch, we both, right? We both shoot from 35 feet. All right. And Pluto says, damn, the performance improvement plan is nasty. You know? It's like, I'm dead serious, right? I'll be quick to pull out a pip, right? Let me get to the next, because I'll be messing with you guys for so long. And all right, let's get to the next one, right? So let's go to here, and
Another one.
So do QA people have test plans still? Do QA professionals still write test plans, right? Let's jump into that real quick. And this one might not even take the full 5, right? So honest question. How do QA testers relay info to the development team? My company seems to test random requirements. Well, your company is doing it wrong. So at my company, we still write test plans. We're an agile company. I'm in an agile team, and we have like, when we are writing we're working on our stories, we have subtasks, and one of the subtasks is always create and discuss the test plan. So and pretty much like I do most of them, but anyone, like sometimes the developers do it, sometimes. Like I mostly do it, but we'll create this test plan and we'll go through, we'll think about all the different scenarios. So so this is my process, right? I do it early. As soon as we start working on the story, I'm like, all right, let me start working on this test plan. And I write it out, and there's some stuff that we always gonna do, like run our regression test, through our CI/CD, all that good stuff. But I start looking at the story, I start thinking of all the scenarios, I start listing them all out. And once I have a good grasp of it, based on the acceptance criteria, I've always written my test cases, my test plans, my test scenarios based off the acceptance criteria. That's a must. So we start thinking about the positive scenarios, the negative scenarios, all that good stuff, all the risks and stuff like that, things that we should look out for. And then we say, all right, still early in the process. Hey, developers, let's meet about it. Let's talk about it. I want you guys to see what my insight is, what I'm going to be working on. And I want, and that way you can have in your mind what I'm going to be working on, what I'm going to be looking for. And I can have in my mind the things that like you can share your feedback on. Oh yeah, we're also going to be looking to this. You should look at that. And we collaborate on that. So now, as you're developing, you're thinking about what I spoke about. And as I'm planning my automation and stuff like that, I'm thinking about what they spoke about. So once it's ready, I am like 70, like I'm like a good 60 to 80% already there with the testing, because now I know exactly what I need to do. As soon as it's ready, I start running the regression test, and I start going through the test plan. As much as I could have automated, I'm going to run those tests, and wherever it leaves me, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to look for these things, test these things out, make sure they work well. And that's our process. And to me, that is a great working process to collaborate with the developers. That way they are able to think about shifting left. They're able to think about, okay, these are the things that we need to look out for. These are the things that Ralph is going to be doing. And we just work great together that way, because I don't like surprises. I don't like, not having that conversation. And then when we should be deploying, instead of deploying, we're fixing bugs that could have been easily identified early on in the process. And that's my mindset behind my approach to quality, my approach to testing. I know there are some bug chasers out there, right? Shout out to the bug chasers. For me, I don't find it appealing or compelling when I find a bug after development is done. I would have rather been, the pest control where I spray the place and not have to call working like, oh, I have like a rat infestation. Remember David Goggins' story about the rat infestation, right? Or not the rat, the roach infestation, right? At that store, wherever he was at, the fast food place, right? We don't want that. So I try to work with the developers closely. Like, all right, so I'm going to be looking at here, I'm looking at there. What are your thoughts about this? And then we're navigating. Sometimes you find a defect, right? But you're able to identify it quickly. You're able to get it fixed quickly, so that we can move forward. I'm not a bug chaser, right? I might be Yannick. I'm technically Tim. We are definitely bag chasers, but I'm not a bug chaser, right? I don't go chasing after bugs, ambulance chasers. I'm not like, oh, I found 10 bugs. Yay. Yay, 10 bugs. I'm more like, damn, found a bug. I wish I could have caught that before, so we could just I want to get to deployment. I want to add value to our customers. I want to make our company happy. I want to make our company money. And that way, when the company makes money, I make money, right? That's what I'm looking for. So that's my thought behind it. And that's why QA people do write test plans, and it's important that they do. If your company seems to test random requirements, then you, being the person in charge for QA, you need to change that. You need to make them have a structured approach, testing the acceptance criteria. Things shouldn't be like, who does that? Like, who just randomly tests random stuff? Like, come on, all right? Come on. Anyways, let's wrap that question up. All right, let's go back to the chat real quick. If you have, all right. We're 5 questions deep. If you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live and drop new content. All right. So with that being said, let's go to Pluto says, I don't know any nurses doing 3 jobs, to be honest. I do. And my wife used to work in the hospital, right? And a lot of her friends are nurses, and they, trust me, they work many jobs. They work many jobs. All right. And it says, and I worked at a hospital. But did you work at the other hospital that they were moonlighting at? Did you work for their home healthcare LLC? That's what I'm saying. Like, they trust me. They trust me on that one. All right. Trust me on that one. And Emma says, like, Pluto, they a lot do. I know a lot that do 2 or 3, even if they do exactly. Because you can be getting your health insurance from your main one, and then you can do like per diem, like every other weekend on a Saturday at this other place. Who knows, right? But I've seen it. And Pluto says Friday. So May 3rd, we are going to be looking out for it. We're going to be looking. And it says, interesting times changing, but it's to make more money. To be honest, most nursing jobs, they be just talking. I would not say anything negative about the nurses because I don't want them to come after me, right? They might send some people after me, and then me and Mitch are gonna have to be back to back fighting off them. Yeah. So, and let's go to they stressed over things not PG in my. Oh my god. All right, stop the show. We got my guy Yakar in the building. Me and Yakar put on a great presentation on Agile and Kanban this past Saturday. What's up, Yakar? So good to see you here. All right. Let's get to the next question because, like I said, I can be hanging out with you guys all night, but we got things to do, right? We got things to do. All right. So the next question. Oh, this is going to be Mitch's favorite question of the night. All right, let's get it.
Another one.
Is this UK-based coding bootcamp a scam? All right, so, and it starts off with big rant time. I've done a coding bootcamp in London. They're pretty awful. All resources they used in my bootcamp was copied from free Code Camp's YouTube videos. The tutors were hardly qualified. What they taught was absolute basics, absolutely nothing intermediate at all. Highest it was JS loops, JavaScript loops, functions, and a little DOM manipulation, but was pathetic and tell you you'll be job ready after it. And to top it all off, they suppose level 3 qualifications from it is a fake, no awarding body, no UCA's points, and is just a useless certificate they made that says achievement. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of, kind of hard to read this one, but they probably went on to Envato Elements, and they have like the year unlimited, and they searched for a certificate, and then they printed that on a piece of paper, or they emailed it to you. They probably didn't print it. They emailed it to you with your name on it and says you have successfully completed our bootcamp. Right? That's probably what happened. Anyways, so a useless certificate they made that says achievement should have just wrote it on a piece of toilet paper. What? Not toilet paper, so I could wipe my butt with it. Oh my goodness, this person's going off. Talk about a rat. The reason they got no awarding body is because if someone was from the awarding body came to inspect and look at their teaching material, they would get denied in an instant. They also don't state on their website there is no awarding body, and it's a sham and a scam. They don't care about the students, only care about passing people by getting them in and out of the bootcamp as soon as possible so they can pocket the government's money. Most students are all government funded. So, shout out to our taxes. All of this one is in the UK. I'm pretty sure, I actually have heard people getting their boot camps paid for by government funding and stuff like that. So it is what it is. Many of us fell behind and didn't submit the module assessments at the end of the course, which should have been an automatic fail. But, so they didn't submit any of like the modules at the end of the course, which should have been an automatic fail, but they still passed everyone. Oh my God. Unfortunately, I just went with it. Unfortunately, I went with, they're dropping names. They are dropping names. All right. I am not. Why the hell not? This is in the UK anyways. Unfortunately, I went with just IT. Stay far away from it. What? Just IT in UK. So if you're in the UK, watch out for just IT. Just please use Udemy as a course. They're like $11.99 to keep, or use YouTube for free content. Everything is online for free. I've learned from cheap courses from Udemy and free YouTube material and got a job. Shout out to you for getting a job. Also, network, all right? Network. The best thing you can do is reach out to other devs on LinkedIn, especially devs locally, meetups, code, discuss, and have a coffee. Me and my friends all got dev jobs in the NHS. Is that the National Healthcare System for the UK? And other big name companies with no degrees and completely self-taught just from networking. Making friends and someone slipping a word about you to their boss for the position they're hiring for. Good luck and don't fall victim to most bootcamp scams. If you want to go to one, research them and see if they have an awarding body. Will most likely be gateway qualifications, 16 UCA points. If you've ever been to a bootcamp in London and the UK or somewhere, even in the States perhaps, please let me know about your experience. And to those who may say, I just had a bad experience, that's incorrect. I've been connecting with many people from numerous boot camps in London, and they've all had the same or similar experience. All right. So that is that story. That is quite unfortunate. You know what? There's not much commentary on this, so I'll just say I'll put the 5. But you guys have to be very, very careful where you invest your time, invest your money. Boot camps are not cheap, and you got to be careful because, like this person said, they will cycle you in and cycle you out, cycle you in and cycle you out. They don't care, because you can use it to get as much knowledge as you can, or you can go on free code camp for free. You can go on Udemy for really, really, really cheap, get some great courses, learn, and then, I still recommend, if it is possible, like whenever people ask me like, oh, can I do this? I'm like, it's possible. What's the likelihood? But if you can go to school, go to school. All right. So I'm going to wrap that one up right there because there's not much to say. Like this person, Mitch, was it you? Wait, all right. Wait a second. Wait just 1 second here. All right. Mitch, was that you who wrote this one? Was that you who wrote this one, Mitch? See, now I got to know. Now I got to know, right? Was that you, Mitch? Because that sounds like something that you would write. Because I know your love for boot camps, right? Anyways, let's get to... Actually, I'm going to jump to the last question, right? And then I'm going to check the chat. And we'll go from there, right? So, let's get to the last question. And then the other one, we'll carry that over for next, right? We're going to have carryover points this sprint. Carryover points for this sprint. We don't like them, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You don't always hit 100%, all right, of your sprint goal. So we are going to get this one off the screen. Too many things. All right, there we go. And there we go. All right, let's do one more and then we'll check out the chat for the last few minutes and we will wrap it up because I have got to go.
Another one.
Chilling with my boss at the mall. So this one goes. I ran into my boss at the mall. I just experienced one of those really awkward moments that I think many of us fear, but never actually expect to happen. Yesterday, around 3 p.m., I was out at the mall when I bumped into my boss. We started off with some light conversation, but then things took a surprising twist, a surprising turn. Before heading to the mall, I had left my PC on with a mouse jiggler to keep my status as online on Teams. However, during our chat, my boss decided to look up my status on Teams right then and there. He saw that I was online and immediately got furious. Wow. He confronted me about being out while my status showed I was working and it turned into a very uncomfortable situation. I think he caught on to my scheme. I have a business update meeting with him on Monday. I am going to call in sick. Oh my, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. So we're not going to spend a full 5 on this one, but what are you guys doing out there? What are you guys thinking? And then like my guy, the test lead, he released a video yesterday, I think it was, talking about being overemployed. What is overemployed, right? When you guys are going and getting, 2-3 different full-time jobs where you're on the clock at the same time and stuff like that. And I always wondered, like, how do people balance these meetings when they're doing this? Like, how do you have the time to work multiple full-time jobs? Unless you're working 8 to 5 for one, and then you're working 7 to whatever other time the other one, which is tiring. But if you can do it, then you can do it. Maybe you're working one job on a UK time schedule or China or Japan time schedule, and then you're working the other one in US time schedules. But this is when you hear all these people getting laid off and stuff like that, lay off here, lay off there, all these tech companies laying off people, but they know what you're doing. Like, you're not slick. If you're not if you're not providing value, if you are not being compensated for the work that you do. See, a lot of times in tech, it's more about getting the job done, getting the task done, and then you have to be at your desk looking at your screen from this time to that time. There's a lot of flexibility, but the problem is when people abuse that flexibility, that's where the big problem lies. And I think and a lot of people talk bad about Elon Musk and his work conditions and stuff like that. But just the other day, Google let out a statement Google is a business and we're here to work. We're not here to protest and riot and all that type of stuff, right? We're not here to cause chaos. We're here to work. So if you violate your terms of work, see, you guys had it easy the past few years when you can get away with anything. Because when all the companies are super woke and stuff like that, you guys would be running around saying, we're not going to do this, making demands, what we're not going to do, right? What we're not going to do. But now they're like, all right, look, the economy is not what it used to be. We don't have all this free government money anymore. We're broke. We broke 5 broke, right? So we need to make it you guys got to show up to work. And now you're at the mall. I mean, here's another question. What was your boss doing at the mall? Did he have a mouse jiggler on too? But this is why we fall into, and this is why I don't feel sorry for y'all. I don't feel sorry for y'all. I gotta get your act together, right? Anyways, I got a meeting at 9:30. Let's wrap this up. Let's run through the comments real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. So shout out to the people trying to scam their jobs, you PPP loan scanners and scammers and stuff like that. You guys are all the same. If you're cheating your company, you're cheating the government, you're going to be found out, and then you're going to get a performance improvement plan, or they're just going to fire you straight up. And then they're going to try to call in sick, and guess what? You are going to get fired while you're sick, and then you're going to go on TikTok and you're going to be ranting, saying, if TikTok is still around, right? If TikTok is still around, you're going to go ranting saying, oh, they fired me when I was sick. No, because you called in sick because you were scamming. That's what it is. I would say a majority of the people, when they're making all these excuses, that's what happens, right? They were scamming. They got caught. They called in sick, and it's they called me out. They fired me when I was sick. No, they fired you because you were scamming, right? Anyways, NT ways. Let's wrap that question up. We are done. All right. So that was that. How about that? Anyways, let's run through these comments real quick. And it says all he got is Walmart. Talking about Publix? Oh, Wegmans. Oh, do you know Wegmans? Okay. It's a grocery store. I guess not. All right. What else we got? So, HEB is right, but Costco is overpowered. I learned you can return anything you bought in the last night. Yeah, those, you can return anything at Costco. That's crazy. I think they're trying to put a limit on that though. And it says, let's see. And bros be returning stained coaches or couches or something. And let's see what else we got. And damn, who put the questioner at gunpoint? I don't know. Right. And let's see what else we got. It says, I guess what should be the best QA workflow to be active rather than reactive. That is 100% facts. Always being active and never being, sometimes you have to be reactive, right? But you always want to be active, catch things ahead of time, be preventive, because it's always easier when you are preventive instead of going to have surgery afterwards, right? And it says, when you're a machine like me, there's no work-life balance. I told you I haven't seen the back of my eyelids since 2000. You see, Mitch is an Optimus Gen 2 Tesla robot. All right, shout out to Mitch. And Pluto says, you got eyelids? I never had them. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. See? And Bugs. All right, and it says, Del0015. What up, Del? Shout out to you, Del. What's going on? I do not do judo. I do jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yep. It has some similarities to judo, but no, not judo in particular. And follow-up question, do you like Baki? It's like a fighting martial arts tournaments anime. Never heard of it, but I will look into it. And I worked for a regional hospital, so maybe that's just my possibly. Nursing ops is crazy. And Mitch says, I'm going to start a boot camp focused on QA. Now, how does that sound? It sounds like you're going to be leading people not to 200, not to 300, not to 400, but to $500,000 a year in the first 6 months. But you got to do it in 3. You got to do it better. You got to do it in 3. All right. And it says, easy question. America is the only legit one. Name one tech company from the UK. Ooh, shots fired. Oh my God. That was uncalled for. And what else we got? We got the Queen. The Queen's money going to use at these boot camps. Let's go. And it says, I know a guy I used to work with that did a QA boot camp for MuleSoft back in 2020 and still in the boot camp. What in the world is going on? Do we need to have a boot camp segment? Oh my God, tell us your boot camp horror stories. And Pluto says Beyonce is the only modern queen. Okay. No Beyonce slander. I do not need them coming after me. Actually, 2021. It is what it is. All right. And Mitch says the main problem, I know we joke, but these boot camps sell you on you will get a job. Yep. That's the biggest problem. You will make 6 figures your first job. Sometimes you can't. Look, a lot of the ones that I know who took them, they can't even find a job. There's one person that I know who actually got it, right? So I don't know. And it says, bro, got the YouTube ads. Shout out to the YouTube ads. We getting paid over here.
Thank you for your patronage.
Money.
And it says, you big time while he talking, ads coming up. Hey, it is what it is. And only hanging out with my boss unless she is. Oh, we're not even gonna get there. We're not even gonna go there. Oh my God. Hey, see? He's trying to turn this into Saturday, Mitch. He's trying to turn this into Saturday, all right? And some of those jobs aren't customer facing, so that's a way too. And let's see. The questioner like that. And all right. And that's it. All right, we got to get out of here. You guys know what time it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My question to you, as always, where is it? It is.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Right? That's why we're here. We had so much fun. A lot of questions, a lot of answers, hanging out with my guys. Always. And of course, Mitch says, Saturday, I'm still shooting. Hey, shoot for the stars. You might hit the moon. All right. And lastly, as always, you guys know what time it is. You guys know what time it is, right? Yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up. All right. So with that being said, have a wonderful night. See you guys tomorrow morning.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.